Good morning, St. Francis. It is Monday, March the 8th, 2021, Monday of the third week of Lent. It is the 16th day of Lent today. Coming to you from the Memorial Garden on this very frosty morning here in Carolina, although it is going to warm up, they say, to about 61, 62 degrees today. Like this view from the Memorial Garden with the stately Carolina pines behind me in the southwest corner of the Memorial Garden. Today's gospel connects only with the first reading in that it talks about Naaman the Syrian. Naaman the Syrian is about the first reading from the second book of Kings. Again, a Syrian commander, army commander who contracts leprosy and is told to go to the prophet Elisha to be able to be cured of his leprosy. And whereas Naaman expects Elisha to come out of his tent and wave his hands over the leprous marks on his body, Elisha says, go into the river Jordan and plunge yourself 7 times. Naaman finds this ridiculous because why would he do that in the Jordan River and not into one of the better rivers that are in Syria? But he is told to go ahead and do so because God works in extraordinary ways. The God of Israel can work in extraordinary ways, and Naaman is healed. Again, Naaman, a Syrian, not a Jew, is healed. In Luke's gospel, it's the continuation of where Jesus goes into the temple and basically reads from the scroll that the signs and wonders of the oppressed being freed, a year of favor, that the blind will see, the deaf will hear, all those kinds of things are going to be happening now in their midst. Everyone is happy with what Jesus says, but he realizes they're only thinking highly of themselves in some ways, and he goes into this tirade about how you think that God is coming to you because you're so special, and goes into the widow of Zarephath being visited by the prophet Elijah during a famine, and then brings up Naaman. He's again a Syrian and non-Jew, both non-Jews, being shown God's grace and favor. And what the people decide to do in Galilee, where he is, where in Nazareth, where Jesus is they want to throw him off a cliff and kill him. So where Jesus' popularity soars and falls immediately. What has any of this to do? Well, again, Lent is not about us. It isn't. It never is. It's not about us and our sins, our brokenness, our pains, and our woes, and where we sit around, it's basically asking God to forgive us again and again because we're bad for 40 days. And then just go back into the same things all over again. It's a vicious cycle, a vicious circle. And this sort of navel-gazing that Lent has become many times, is just, one more exercise in egotism that we do not need as human beings. Our church definitely does not need. The wonders and the mercy and the fantastic ways in which God works in this world among all people are supposed to draw all of us to greater and greater faith, to see a God who cares, to see a God who shows no distinctions, to see a God who crushes barriers and boundaries that we create amongst ourselves, between ourselves. This is the kind of God who suffers, dies, and rises. Again, Lent is about memory. It's about remembering that this is the kind of God that we have been given. This is the kind of God who brought us into creation. This is the kind of God who loves us to the end and beyond. We need to emulate that kind of God in our own lives, recognizing the many ways in which God can work, and rejoice that our God is not closed-minded, narrow-minded, hard of heart, chooses favorites, picks favorites, or whatever it is. God is not like us, and that is glorious to behold, and something in which we can pin our hopes, our destiny, everything that we are upon. Because this God, who sees more than we can see, is also a God who will never fail us. May the Lord give you peace.